Karoline Leavitt arrived at the Harborfront Grand in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, stepping out of her SUV with purpose. The hotel lobby was calm, the air carrying the warmth of a crackling fireplace. Approaching the front desk, she encountered a young receptionist with auburn hair, a nose ring, and chipped black nail polish. The receptionist glanced at Karoline's ID and smirked. "Oh, you're that Karoline Leavitt," she muttered just loud enough for nearby guests to hear. Karoline remained composed, asking if there was an issue. The receptionist, Rowan, deliberately stalled, claiming the room wasn't ready, despite check-in time having passed. Karoline, maintaining her patience, requested a double-check. Rowan exaggeratedly agreed, treating her like a child. The atmosphere in the lobby shifted. A few guests exchanged looks, some whispering. A woman discreetly recorded the interaction. Karoline took a seat by the window, scrolling through her phone, unfazed. The murmurs in the lobby grew. The couple behind Karoline in line whispered about Rowan's unprofessionalism. Meanwhile, the woman who had recorded the incident debated posting it online. "It's not about politics," she murmured. "It's about respect." Finally, Rowan, still oozing sarcasm, checked in the next guests with forced cheerfulness but couldn't resist another dig at Karoline. "Some folks really think the world owes them a gold medal just for showing up," she muttered. That was the moment the video went live. 23 seconds of Rowan's smirk, delay tactics, and parting insult. It was uploaded anonymously with the caption, "Professionalism Matters." Within an hour, the video had started to spread. A few dozen views turned into hundreds, then thousands. Karoline finally received her room key, handed to her by a different, flustered clerk. No mention of the earlier incident. No explanation. She simply thanked him and moved on with her evening. Meanwhile, Rowan had no idea what was unfolding online. She scrolled through her phone during her break, confused by a friend's text, "Girl, are you going viral?" Clicking the link, Rowan's stomach dropped. The video was everywhere. She tried to brush it off, believing she had been in the right. But as the night wore on, the comments piled up. People weren't debating politics, they were shocked at her behavior. "Imagine treating a customer like that," one person wrote. "She handled it better than I ever could have." By sunrise, the video had over 300,000 views. The hotel's phone rang non-stop. Guests and reporters all asking the same question, "Does Rowan still work there?" Her manager, Calvin, was overwhelmed. He stared at the video playing on loop, rubbing his temples. By the time Rowan showed up for her shift in sunglasses and a hoodie, he was waiting. "Office. Now," he ordered. Behind closed doors, Rowan folded her arms, already defensive. "She's dangerous," she snapped. "People like her," Calvin cut her off. "This isn't about opinions. This is about your job. You embarrassed us." Rowan scoffed. "So you're firing me over a video?" Calvin sighed. "No. I'm firing you because you disrespected a guest, on camera, in uniform, while representing this brand. Politics has nothing to do with it." Rowan was speechless. The weight of her actions finally settled in. She had always been vocal, unapologetic. But this was different. There was no winning. No justifying. Just consequences. She left through the side door, avoiding the lobby, avoiding the stairs. Meanwhile, morning news shows picked up the story. A legal analyst summed it up, "This isn't about ideology. This is about professionalism." Social media boiled over. Some defended Rowan, but most condemned her. Karoline still hadn't publicly commented, just a single composed tweet, "I checked in quietly like anyone else." What happened speaks for itself. "I wish her well." The reply section erupted. Some praised her grace. Others called it strategic. But the core takeaway remained, respect isn't political. Over the next few days, the video continued circulating. Think pieces emerged. Talk shows debated where personal beliefs should end and professionalism should begin. Meanwhile, Rowan was drowning in regret. She shut down her social media but couldn't escape reality. A stranger at the grocery store recognized her. "You really thought that was a good idea?" he asked, shaking his head. "You could have just given her the key." That night, scrolling through the comments she swore she wouldn't read, one stood out, "We all have opinions, but what we do on the clock shows our character. She saved it. Closed the app. Karoline moved on, speaking at scheduled events. She didn't milk the incident for attention but admitted privately, "It wasn't about me. It was about someone deciding I didn't deserve basic respect." People reflected. Conversations happened, not in newsrooms but in homes, workplaces, coffee shops. Everyone had a moment of pause. That barista they snapped at. The customer they dismissed. The job interview where they almost made a sarcastic remark but didn't. One smirk, one sentence too far, could be captured forever. A week later, Rowan sat across from her mother, picking at breakfast. The silence was heavy. Finally, her mother spoke. "You always said you wanted to make the world better. That wasn't the way." Rowan didn't argue. I thought if I stayed quiet, I'd be a coward. And if I spoke, I'd be a villain. I don't know where the middle is." Her mother squeezed her hand. "The middle is where people actually listen." Later that week, Rowan applied for a receptionist job at a small vet clinic. The hiring manager, an older woman in sneakers and denim, studied her. "I know what happened. I don't need the whole story. Just tell me, what did you learn?" Rowan hesitated. Then, for the first time, she didn't justify, didn't deflect. "I forgot that people aren't the worst version of their headlines. And I let my pride get louder than my purpose." The manager nodded. "You start Monday." People moved on, but an echo remained. A reminder that every single day, we decide how to treat others. This wasn't about politics. It was about a simple truth. Kindness and professionalism matter. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is not react the way the world expects you to.